There's a battle you fight every single day, one that no one else sees, a war that doesn't leave bruises on your skin but scars on your soul. It's the war against your own doubt, against the voice that whispers, "You're not good enough. You'll never make it. Why even try?" But let me tell you something, self-doubt is a liar. It's a thief that steals your potential, your dreams, and your purpose. And the worst part, it doesn't come from the outside. It comes from within. So today, we're going to silence that voice. Today, we're going to take back our power. Because the truth is, you are stronger than your doubt. You are greater than your fear. And the only limits that exist are the ones you refuse to break. Let's dive in. Self-doubt is one of the most deceptive enemies we face. It doesn't attack with force. It sneaks in quietly, disguising itself as logic, as caution, as reason. It whispers thoughts that sound like truth but are actually chains holding you back. It starts with a hesitation, a tiny pause before making a decision, a second guessing of your abilities. Over time, it grows into a habit, making you believe that playing small is the only option. It convinces you that you're not talented enough, not smart enough, not worthy enough. The scariest part? It's an internal battle, one that no one else sees. While others might see your strengths, your potential, and your progress, you are stuck wrestling with thoughts that keep telling you that you're not enough. This enemy doesn't come out of nowhere. It's often built over years of experiences, failures, and negative influences. Maybe it started in childhood when someone told you that you weren't good at something. Maybe it grew because of criticism, rejection, or failure. Every moment of doubt, every voice that questioned your worth became bricks in the wall that self-doubt hides behind. And once that wall is up, it distorts your reality. You could be the most talented person in the room, but if self-doubt controls your mind, you'll convince yourself that you don't belong there. You could have every opportunity in front of you, but you'll hesitate, overthink, and sabotage your own success. The most dangerous thing about self-doubt is that it creates a cycle. The more you doubt yourself, the more you hesitate. The more you hesitate, the fewer chances you take. The fewer chances you take, the less you grow. And the less you grow, the more proof you give yourself that maybe you really aren't good enough. This cycle becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. It's not that you aren't capable, it's that you convince yourself that you're not. And because of that belief, you don't push yourself, you don't take the risk, you don't step into your greatness. You settle for less than you deserve because self-doubt makes you believe that's all you can get. What makes self-doubt so powerful is that it hides in the way you think. It disguises itself as common sense. It tells you that you're just being realistic. It makes you believe that the caution you feel is just wisdom. But the truth is, most of the time, it's just fear. And fear dressed up as logic is one of the most dangerous things in the world. It keeps you from stepping into the unknown. It keeps you from trying new things. It keeps you from becoming who you're meant to be. The worst part about self-doubt is that it doesn't just affect your actions. It affects your energy. It changes the way you carry yourself, the way you speak, the way you interact with the world. And when you're full of self-doubt, it shows. You hesitate before you speak. You second-guess yourself in conversations. You shrink in the presence of confidence. Even if you don't say a word, your energy speaks volumes. And the world responds to that energy. Opportunities go to the people who believe in themselves. Confidence attracts success. Meanwhile, self-doubt pushes away what could have been yours. The first step to breaking free from self-doubt is recognizing it for what it is. It's not reality. It's not truth. It's a pattern of thinking that has been built over time. And just like it was built, it can be broken. It doesn't mean ignoring your weaknesses or pretending that challenges don't exist. It means refusing to let those weaknesses define you. It means refusing to let fear disguise itself as logic. It means choosing to believe in yourself even when it feels unnatural. The battle against self-doubt isn't won in a single moment. It's won in the small choices you make every day. The choice to speak up, to take action, to believe in yourself even when doubt tries to creep in. Your mind is the most powerful tool you have, but it can also be your greatest enemy. Every thought you entertain, every belief you hold, every story you tell yourself shapes the way you see the world, and more importantly, the way you see yourself. When self-doubt takes root, it creates a filter through which you interpret everything. A simple challenge becomes proof that you aren't good enough. A small mistake becomes confirmation of failure. A setback feels like a permanent defeat. The mind magnifies the negative and minimizes the positive, making it nearly impossible to see the truth. The truth is that failure is temporary, challenges are opportunities, and setbacks are stepping stones. But when your mind is wired for doubt, none of that feels real. It feels like you're trapped in a cycle of questioning yourself, overanalyzing everything, and hesitating when you should be moving forward. This mindset doesn't just appear out of nowhere. It is built over time, shaped by experiences, influences, and repeated thoughts. If you've spent years telling yourself that you aren't good enough, then that belief becomes your default setting. The brain is wired for efficiency, which means it will always take the path that is most familiar. If self-doubt is the most well-traveled path in your mind, then it will always be the first reaction to any challenge or opportunity. The good news is that just as the brain can be trained to doubt, it can also be trained to believe. You are not stuck with the mindset you have right now. You can rewire it. You can change the way you think, the way you speak to yourself, and the way you respond to challenges. But it starts with awareness. Most people don't even realize how much their self-talk is holding them back. The little comments they make about themselves, the way they downplay their achievements, the way they brush off compliments, the hesitation in their voice when they talk about their goals, all of these are signs of a mind program for doubt. The key is to catch these moments and challenge them. Every time you think you can't do something, stop and ask yourself why. Is it because you truly lack the skill? Or is it because you've been telling yourself that you do? Every time you hesitate to take a risk, ask yourself what's really stopping you. Is it a real obstacle or is it just fear of failure? When you start questioning your doubts instead of blindly accepting them, you begin to take away their power. Rewiring your mindset is not about forcing yourself to be blindly positive. It's about shifting your perspective. Instead of seeing obstacles as proof that you aren't good enough, start seeing them as proof that you are growing. Instead of looking at failure as a reason to quit, start seeing it as a lesson. Instead of waiting until you feel ready, start taking action despite the doubt. The truth is, confidence doesn't come first, action does. The more you act in the face of doubt, the weaker that doubt becomes. Every time you push through fear, you teach your brain a new pattern. You build a new pathway, one that says, I can do this. Your thoughts have power. They shape your emotions, your actions, and ultimately your reality. If you keep telling yourself that you're not good enough, then you will find evidence to support that belief everywhere. But if you start telling yourself that you are capable, that you are strong, that you are worthy, then you will begin to see proof of that as well. Your mind will always find what it is looking for. So the question is, what are you training it to look for? Perfection is one of the greatest illusions that hold people back. It convinces you that you need to have everything figured out before you take action. It makes you believe that unless something is flawless, it isn't worth doing. It keeps you stuck in an endless cycle of overthinking, preparing, and hesitating, while opportunities pass you by. The need for perfection is deeply rooted in fear. The fear of failure, the fear of judgment, the fear of not being enough. But the truth is, waiting for perfection is just another way of letting self-doubt win. The longer you wait, the harder it becomes to start. Action is the antidote to self-doubt. Nothing quiets that inner voice of hesitation more than proving it wrong with movement. The moment you take a step forward, no matter how small, you shift from questioning yourself to creating results. Progress is what builds confidence, not the other way around. People often think they need to feel ready before they begin, but readiness is a myth. No one feels fully ready. Confidence comes from experience, from stepping into the unknown, from making mistakes and realizing that they don't defy you. Every successful person you admire once started from zero, full of uncertainty, full of doubts, but they moved forward anyway. Taking imperfect action means embracing mistakes as part of the process. Growth doesn't happen in theory, it happens in practice. You can read all the books, watch all the videos, and make all the plans, but if you never take action, nothing changes. Every mistake you make teaches you something valuable. Every misstep is a lesson that helps you improve. The people who achieve the most in life are not the ones who get everything right the first time. They are the ones who are willing to get it wrong, learn, and keep going. Fear of failure keeps so many people stuck, but failure itself is never the real problem. The problem is what you make failure mean. If you see failure as proof that you're not good enough, it will crush you. If you see it as feedback, as growth, as a stepping stone, it will empower you. Momentum is everything. The hardest part of anything is starting. Once you start, once you take that first step, the next step becomes easier. Progress fuels motivation. Every little win, every small action taken builds a foundation of belief in yourself. People who stay stuck in self-doubt are the ones who never take that first step. They wait for clarity, for confidence, for some kind of sign that it's time. But time doesn't create action. Action creates time. If you keep waiting for the perfect moment, you'll wake up years from now still waiting. The perfect moment is the moment you decide to start. Overthinking kills dreams more than failure ever will. The longer you sit with an idea without acting on it, the more your mind will find reasons why it won't work. You'll start imagining every possible way it could go wrong. You'll convince yourself that you need more preparation, more time, more skills. But preparation without execution is just procrastination in disguise. The only way to truly prepare is to do. Start before you feel ready. Start when it's messy. Start when it's unclear. Start and figure it out along the way. Your first attempt will not be perfect, but neither was anyone else's. The first draft of a book is messy. The first business idea will have flaws. The first speech might be shaky. The first step into anything new will feel uncertain. But perfection is never the goal. Progress is. The more you take action, the more you refine your skills, the more you gain experience, the more you prove to yourself that you are capable. Imperfect action beats perfect inaction every single time. The people you surround yourself with have a direct impact on your mindset, your confidence, and ultimately your success. Energy is contagious, whether you realize it or not. The beliefs, attitudes, and habits of those around you shape the way you see yourself and the world. If you are constantly around negativity, doubt, and fear, it becomes nearly impossible to build self-belief. When the people in your life reinforce your insecurities, even unintentionally, self-doubt grows strong. On the other hand, when you surround yourself with people who uplift you, challenge you, and believe in your potential, their confidence in you helps you develop confidence in yourself. Many people underestimate the power of their environment. They assume that self-doubt is entirely internal, something that exists only in their own mind. But so much of what we believe about ourselves is influenced by those we interact with the most. If you grew up in an environment where you were constantly criticized, undervalued, or told to play small, that becomes part of your internal dialogue. Even in adulthood, the voices around you shape the voice inside you. If you are always hearing people complain, doubt themselves, and settle for less, that energy seeps into your own mindset. It's easy to think that you are just being realistic, when in reality, you have absorbed the limitations of others. The first step in shifting your mindset is becoming aware of who is influencing it. Pay attention to how you feel after spending time with certain people. Do they leave you feeling inspired and motivated, or do they drain your energy and reinforce your doubts? Do they encourage your growth, or do they make you feel like your dreams are unrealistic? Sometimes the people who hold us back the most are those closest to us, not out of malice, but because of their own fears and insecurities. They may not believe in themselves, so they struggle to believe in you. They may have settled in life and feel uncomfortable seeing you strive for more. Recognizing this doesn't mean cutting everyone out of your life, but it does mean setting boundaries and intentionally surrounding yourself with people who push you to grow. Finding the right environment is one of the most important steps in overcoming self-doubt. Seek out people who are where you want to be. Learn from those who have achieved what you aspire to accomplish. If you don't have people in your immediate circle who uplift you, look beyond your current environment. Read books, listen to podcasts, follow mentors who inspire you. Join communities where people are striving for growth and success. In today's world, you don't have to be physically close to someone to be influenced by their energy. The voices you listen to daily, whether in person through social media or in the content you consume, become part of your mental environment. Choose them wisely. It's not just about removing negativity. It's about actively building a support system of people who see your potential even when you don't. True supporters don't just tell you what you want to hear, they challenge you to be better. They hold you accountable. They remind you of your strengths when you forget them. They push you forward when self-doubt tries to hold you back. Surrounding yourself with the right people doesn't mean finding perfect, always negative individuals. It means finding those who are committed to growth, who refuse to settle, who inspire you to become the best version of yourself. Energy is everything. The more you expose yourself to confidence, ambition, and belief, the more it will start to reflect in your own mindset. You can't expect to build self-belief in an environment that constantly tears it down. Be intentional about the people you allow into your space. The company you keep either fuels your growth or feeds your doubt. Choose wisely. Failure is one of the most misunderstood concepts in life. From an early age, people are conditioned to fear it, to see it as a sign of inadequacy, a reason to stop trying. Society praises success but often overlooks the struggles, setbacks, and countless failures that lead to it. This mindset traps many in a cycle of self-doubt, where every mistake feels like proof that they are not good enough. But failure itself is not the enemy. The real problem is how people interpret it. The way you perceive failure determines whether it will break you or build you. When you see failure as a defining moment rather than a stepping stone, it reinforces self-doubt and keeps you from pushing forward. But if you shift your mindset and start viewing failure as a necessary part of growth, it becomes fuel rather than fear. Every failure carries a lesson. The most successful people in the world are not the ones who never failed, but the ones who failed the most and kept going. They used failure as feedback, as information to adjust, improve, and grow. Every time you fail, you learn something about yourself, about the process, about what works and what doesn't. Each setback refines your skills, strengthens your resilience, and prepares you for the next opportunity. The more you embrace failure as part of the journey, the less power it has to stop you. Instead of seeing it as an obstacle, you begin to see it as proof that you are moving forward, taking risks and stepping out of your comfort zone. One of the biggest reasons people fear failure is because they tie it to their identity. They don't just see a failed attempt, they see themselves as a failure. But failure is an event, not a person. A single mistake, a single setback, or even a series of them does not define who you are or what you are capable of achieving. The only true failure is giving up. As long as you keep going, keep learning, and keep improving, failure is just part of the process. Every great inventor, athlete, entrepreneur, and leader has faced rejection, made mistakes, and fallen short at times. What separates them from everyone else is that they didn't let those moments define their potential. Growth comes from struggle. If everything were easy, if success came without effort, there would be no strength, no resilience, no depth of character. Struggles refine you. They force you to dig deeper, to push past your limits, to develop skills and mental toughness that only adversity can teach. The challenges you face are not meant to break you. They are meant to prepare you for the next level. Every setback is a lesson in disguise, a test to see how badly you want it, a moment to prove to yourself that you can rise above any challenge. The difference between those who succeed and those who stay stuck in doubt is not talent, intelligence, or luck. It is the willingness to fail and keep going. It is the ability to take rejection, criticism, and disappointment and use them as motivation rather than reasons to quit. Every failure is a redirection, an opportunity to refine your approach and come back stronger. When you start seeing failure as fuel instead of finality, self-doubt loses its grip. You begin to trust yourself, to believe in your ability to adapt and improve. You stop hesitating and start taking action because you know that even if you fall, you will rise again. The path to success is built on failures, but only for those who refuse to let failure define them. Self-doubt thrives in isolation. When you keep your struggles, fears, and insecurities locked inside, they grow stronger. The mind has a way of magnifying doubts when they are left unspoken. What starts as a small hesitation can spiral into a deep-rooted belief that you are not capable, not worthy, not enough. But the moment you share your struggles, something shifts. Speaking your doubts out loud takes away their power. You begin to realize that you are not alone, that others have faced the same fears and overcome them. You see that what felt like a personal weakness is actually a universal experience. Seeking support is not a sign of weakness, it is a sign of strength. It takes courage to admit that you are struggling, to ask for guidance, to open yourself up to feedback and encouragement. Many people avoid this because they fear judgment. They worry that others will see them as weak, that they will be criticized or looked down upon. But the truth is, everyone faces self-doubt at some point. Even the most successful, confident individuals have moments where they question themselves. The difference is that they don't let those doubts control them. They seek wisdom from those who have walked the path before them. They surround themselves with people who lift them up, remind them of their potential, and push them to keep going. No one succeeds alone. Every great achievement, every breakthrough, every story of transformation involves support in some form. Mentors who share their knowledge, friends who encourage, coaches who guide, even strangers who share their experiences and inspire you to believe in what is possible. The people you allow into your journey shape the way you see yourself. A single conversation can change your perspective. A single piece of advice can give you the clarity and confidence to move forward. But seeking support is not just about receiving encouragement. It is also about accountability. When you share your goals with others, when you speak your dreams out loud, you create a level of responsibility to follow through. You are less likely to give up when you know that someone else is watching, cheering for you, believing in you. The right people will hold you to a higher standard. They won't let you settle for less than you are capable of. They will remind you of your strengths when you forget them. They will push you forward when self-doubt tries to pull you back. Sometimes, the biggest breakthroughs come from the smallest moments of connection. A single sentence from the right person at the right time can change the way you see yourself. A simple act of encouragement can be the difference between quitting and pushing forward. And when you reach a point where you have overcome self-doubt, when you have broken through your own limitations, you become that person for someone else. Your journey, your struggles, your victories become proof that it is possible. The support you receive today prepares you to be a source of support for others in the future. The key is to be intentional about who you turn to for guidance. Not everyone will understand your vision. Not everyone will support your growth. Some people will project their own fears onto you, making your doubts even stronger. That is why you must seek out those who inspire confidence, who lead by example, who have been where you are and have made it through. Books, podcasts, online communities, there are endless ways to connect with the right voices. You don't have to fight self-doubt alone. The moment you seek support, you weaken the grip that doubt has over you. You step into a world of possibilities where every challenge is faced with strength and every setback is met with resilience. You realize that you are not alone, and in that realization, self-doubt begins to fade.